I'm gonna tell you a story. First thing you have to understand is, though, time doesn't work the way you think it does. You can call me Oracle, because I'm the one who's talking to you. Welcome to the call. Alright. Gonna finish up Book of Troth by Edred Thorson. Oh, speaking of finishing up, I actually finished up Loom today. Actually, when you know what you're doing, extraordinarily quick game. You can finish it in like an hour or two, tops. But, like, that's the thing. You have to know what you're doing. And, I played it on standard mode. I never played it on practice mode, but, like, I can't imagine how much easier it could be. But, like, and I'm also, like, curious how much harder it can be. Because I never played it on expert. I might play it on expert, but, like, we'll see. Anyway. Ways of working. Common procedure in the Troth. Basic, text of the rites presented in the following chapters. There are, as in all rites, involving deep tradition, many elements that will be repeated. Besides this, we will present the basic structure for the formulas and the blessings and the Sumple, from which the true individuals through folk can construct their own rites in an authentic traditional manner. Alright, basic formula of the blessing follows a 9-fold plan. 1. Hallowing. Set ritual space-time apart from ordinary. Very, very good idea, just in general, when you're doing Divya Karma. Whenever you're doing magical work, that's a very good idea. 2. Reading. Puts right into mythic context. 3. Read. Links myth to the purpose of the rite. That's actually pretty cool. That's a very useful initial opening kakra. An opening like an Arya Kakra, an opening like a first thing to connect to the Paratana of the like the Divya Zakti of the magical work, like magical power that you're making contact with, and then linking it like to your kalpa, to your ritual. That's actually very solid right there. 4. Call. Invokes deities or classes of beings. Be praying. Be praying to Buddha. Be invoking Deva. Be invoking Rakshasa or the Yaksha or the Aspara. You know, Sulasattva, subtle beings that, like, you know, if I'm doing, Divya Karma, if I'm doing magical work, if I'm doing magical action, then it is your star. Loading. Charges drink with godly power. Okay, this is what the, essentially the drinking horn is for. It's essentially like me doing an Anasi Zampadati on a beverage, or saying grace, if you want to put it in that context. And basically, like, using the Bala or the Zakti, the power that you were, like, given when you invoke the gods, and put it into a beverage, and then you drinking, circulate the godly power within, blessing, circulate godly power without. So basically you take in the godly energy, and then you do something with it to, do your working. 8. Giving. Returns rightful part of power to divinity. Okay, I'm done doing my divya. Oh, you Deva, here is your power back. Please take all of it. I don't need it anymore. Please take it all. And 9. Leaving. Declaring work rightly done / return to ordinary. So, like, I'm not going to get into my mantra or anything, but, like, because, like, that's, as I understand it, that is actually supposed to be, like, a straight up secret, so I'm not going to get into it. But, when I'm praying, about 3 times, when I enter, and when I'm done. So basically, that's right there, hallowing and leaving, bowing 3 times, for that specific kalpa, for that specific Manisa kalpa, that specific like meditation prayer prayer mantra. All right. The Sumble. The Sumble, or ritual feast, usually follows the great blessing of the year. The Sumble is a special holy working in its own right and deserves a good deal of attention from those who wish to work truly. The word Sumble is derived from the Icelandic Sumbu and the Old English Seimbel, meaning religious drinking ritual or ritual feast. It is a coming together of folks for partaking in the godly ale. It is most often the case that after the blessing or the participants retire to another location, ideally a banquet hall, for the performance of Sumble. Sumbles can also be performed alone, independent of a blessing. Sumble is an imitation of the ritual feats held by the gods and goddesses of Asgard. Once the Sumble has begun, the participants enter into a realm of divine time-space, and they enter into the stream of timeless continuity, where the events of the past can be ritually bound by the events to come, thus reshaping the future in the image of the idealized past. There is obviously a powerful magic work here. This is one of the times in which the Teutonic metaphysic of time, space, and of weird can be used in a practical way. Right on. This dude knows what he's talking about, yo. As a great blessing, or a way to bring the divine into the world, the Sumble is a way to maintain the stream of continuity from the gods to men through the generations of time. So I mentioned earlier in one of the other videos that one of the things that, I think I mentioned it, one of the reputed power of these cities of old is witnessing in and participating in the pastimes of the gods. And that's actually literally what this is. That's literally actually what you're doing here. This is a tantric Rupam Karoti assuming the form of the gods and goddesses of Asgard to drink. Like, this is a legit tantric ritual in a Nordic magic book. This is fantastic. I love this. Like, this is tantric Buddhism too. Like, straight up, and I didn't even know that. That's fantastic. As a great blessing is a way to bring the divine into the world, the Sumple is a way to maintain the stream of continuity from gods to men and through the generations of time. The Sumple keeps the gods and heroes, including our own ancestors, alive and living among us. It is also that time for the ritual boats or boats. The boats! The boats. There's a word like that means basically like a brag bet called boat. And it's literally derived from the word boast, and it's literally talking about this. The boasts are not only bragging about past accomplishments, but also oaths concerning what one is to do in the time to come, which is why it's a brag bet. They are a way of ritually and objectively putting forth one's kith and kin, putting before one's kith and kin, those who respect you and you wish to have, what one intends to do. In the whole context of the Sumple, one swears before the gods and goddesses, before one's kith and kin. Oaths sworn in this setting have great power, and power derived from many levels and sources. Zapatha. This is having a tantric. This is doing a Zapatam Karoti to do like a magic oath. After a Rupam Karoti into a Deva form. This is awesome. I love this. In the Sumble can be seen origins of many profane drinking customs, such as toast. We can also see talking about drinking alcohol, and we see why we talk about drinking alcohol in rounds. The formula for Sumple follows the six-fold plan, but it is more open to innovation than is the formula for the blessings. 1. Seating. Puts folk in right/holy order. 2. Bringing of the horn. Brings holy liquid into the hall. 3. Beginning. Invokes the purpose of the Sumple. 4. First boast. Honors the gods and heroes. 5. Other boasts. Works for individuals or groups. Leaving. Closes rounds. This probably has to do with like the six-fold goal from earlier. As a Sumple is not discussed elsewhere in this book, but is not described in some detail. In Sumple, The gathered folk seat themselves in some significant manner or order. In Knights of Yore, the head of the clan or chieftain would sit at the head of the table or in a high seat, for those of highest authority under him closest to it. For those of less authority, the younger members of the hall would be seated further away from the head. This is more of like the actual Kalpa aspect, like the ritual aspect of the Rupam Karoti to Deva, because like in Asgard, you know, there's a seating order. Like, not the same when you're chilling with your friends, but you know, what else? Alrighty. Each kindred will probably have its own system, but it's virtually important to have some tradition in this regard, as it increases the level of significance in this arrangement or context in which the actions will take place. Yeah, that's actually a good point in terms of like patterns like Nidarza reinforce Kalpa. Like that's just kind of how Kalpa work in general. After all taken their seats, a designated person, the leading woman of the kindred, or some special assistant, the kindred leader, will ceremonially bring in the first horn or cup of holy liquid, mead, ale, or beer may be used, and set it down before the leader. I got some mead. After this, there are a series of formalized boasts, actually drinks to the honor of the gods and ancestors. Of these, we have some remnant derived of the old Norse sources, but they are piecemeal and unsystematic. Such boasts should be drunk at least to Odin, Thuna, Frey, and Freya, followed by a general round of honoring the forebearers, such as a serious boast could bear. Sorry, I was putting I was pausing it. Anyway, to Woden for good speed and wisdom. To Tyr for wit and good troth. To Thunar for ward and Thew, which means strength. To Frey for feast and freeth. To Freya for freedom and frolic. By the way, Freya has a chariot pulled by cats. That's baller. She has a Ratha pulled by Vidala. Anyone who has a cat is like, I know she's a goddess, but like, she manages to get cats to not only like do what she says, but to pull her chariot. What? To our kinsmen, whom we cannot, and to those beloved who are buried and burned. Ashes of my dad. Ashes of my mom. Muffin. And muffin. AJ. On through. After the formalized boasts have been completed, there is an unlimited series of individualized boasts. Individual may use his or her horn in drinking the rounds or in a ceremonial horn that may be actually passed around the table for all the drinks to come. The nature of the individualized boast varies from person to person. Some will recount great mythic events or offer historical events with heroic dimensions of work or in skaldic form, while still others will make personal oaths concerning that which they intend to bring about in days to come. When all have finished the rounds they have planned and all woe inspiration is spent, the rounds are called to a halt by the leader. Speaking of the formalization, I call the rounds ended. Let us wend our ways back to our stead, back to our time, and go forth from here with mighty moods. Mrs. Oracle, that's it for now. I did a lot of water and a whole lot of wow, and that'll be fine. Besides, my cat probably needs to be let go. True or lie, that'll be all for now. Dream safely out there from Oracle me to whoever out there seeing it truly thou.